There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Well, heated exchange has gone viral. This is from a Senate hearing yesterday when a Berkeley law professor clashed with Republican Senator Josh Hawley on the effects of restricted abortion rights. And while abortions are often listed as women's health care, women are not the only people who may need one.
Yeah, some trans men, trans masculine people, non-binary people can also become pregnant. KRON 4's Amanda Hari talked to a leader in the trans community about the importance of inclusive language.
Visibility is really important, but also just even knowing that our existence, that we exist, and that our community needs access to these types of healthcare treatments and procedures.
Shedding light on the fact that not everyone who will need an abortion identifies as a woman. Executive Director of the San Francisco Office of Transgender Initiatives, Pau Crego, says some trans men, trans masculine people, and non-binary people will need the procedure.
Healthcare access for trans people is already so fraught and so complicated, especially procedures like abortion that are considered women's health, because it really creates already just by how we name that type of care.
Tuesday, Berkeley law professor Kiara Bridges butt heads with Senator Josh Hawley during a Senate hearing about the impact of reversing Roe versus Wade. She used the phrase, people with the capacity for pregnancy. The senator then asked her if that's women. She explained that it could be trans and non-binary people as well.
I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning?
Because,
so we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that
dangerous.
trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
I asked Crego about his reaction to this exchange.
Professor Bridges was on point and was a great example of what it looks like to stand up for a community that is often misrepresented or erased. We are a very small proportion comparatively of the people who will be impacted by this, but we also will be impacted disproportionately because we are already experiencing so many barriers to healthcare.
Crego says he worries about trans people having access to the care they need, especially after the Supreme Court's ruling.
Even in 2022, where we are more visible than ever before, we are still literally fighting just to be seen and to be heard as who we are.
Amanda Hari, KRON 4 News.